What episode is this we're recording?
I don't know. Depends on where I put it. It'd probably be like 61.
Yeah, 61 episodes in, and you finally came with an intro.
Well, I haven't gotten there yet, so don't get too excited.
That's a good point. You have told me in the past you've had an intro, and then you started into it, and I've been like, that ain't an intro.
Yeah, because you always sandbag me. There's a word.
Yeah, but not the way you used it. No, you want to talk about intros.
All right, here
So
we go.
I got an argument today because I'll go on to my Bleacher Report app.
Mhm.
And there'll be an article about something that nobody cares about, but everybody gets fired up about it. And so there was this one guy that had 3 grammatical errors in one 10-word sentence.
Did I write it?
Surprisingly, no. So I decided to go full in on it. Like, hey, listen, I know everybody thinks the internet's lawless, but there are still rules. Like, at least put half a decent effort into constructing some sort of proper syntax.
Mhm.
So I went through and did all the corrections on it with the little, like you would in a text, star, correction, star, correction, star, correction.
Ouch.
So then he got mad.
Yeah.
And so then he started bitching back at me. And then he got another, at least one, maybe 2 things wrong in that one. So I corrected both of those things. Then his internet Superman decided to jump in, also hate on me. He only had 1 correction, so I corrected that. And then the first guy came back and said something, and it was so close to being properly written that I responded and I put so close. And then a third buddy on their team decided to jump in and put an asterisk and capitalize so.
Mhm.
And I went, that's great, except that so close isn't a full sentence, so capitalization's unnecessary.
So you're like a grammatical ninja?
Grammatical ninja.
You're a grinja?
A grammar custodian. Maybe it shouldn't make me mad, but I realize the older I get, the more mad it makes me. That
I have a feeling, I feel like people write in text, especially text, as they get older, they start to text correctly, as if you're going to write a sentence properly, type it. And so I think that's how you can tell that you're no longer young, when you're you prefer to capitalize and put periods and stuff.
And he said, you're really bored this morning, aren't you? Or Sunday morning, aren't you? But you, just the letter U. So my next response started with star U ? I said, almost as bored as anyone wasting their time commenting on this post. Of course, they probably had interest. Of course, he would probably say no if approached. All the comments on this post are doing is proving that somehow Chiefs fans may be even more insufferable than fans of any Boston franchise or Golden Knights fans.
You had to throw in the fan base too.
Yeah.
Oh. So you woke up this morning and chose hate?
I sure did. And the hate was mostly for Chiefs fans, apparently. Not Chiefs fans, just Chiefs fans with horrible, horrible, horrible grammar.
That's all of them. That's the perfect way to start this episode.
It is.
Hate for the Chiefs fans.
It is pretty great.
It's pretty obvious we're Niner fans.
I mean, we are, but...
All right. We'll get this one started then. I'm Dan.
I'm Matt.
And
Tyler's over there somewhere.
Yeah. Hi, Tyler. All right, what word do you want to do then?
What are my choices?
I don't know. You got the list.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at it. And you were the one preparing the options.
Oh, no. I mean...
You know what? I think what the problem is the people that wanted to argue back with me spend too much time in their humble abode.
Abode, that's what you poop in, right?
The place they... Nope.
Pee in?
Anyways, I think they spend too much time in their homes. I think they spend too much time in their humble abodes. I think they spend too much time in their cribs.
But isn't a crib just a baby jail?
Yes.
That's what I thought a crib was.
Yeah, it is. They spend too much time in their baby jail. That's why they're mad at the world for trying to correct their grammar.
All right, so this is kind of a flashback because cribs leads to a lot of stuff like the old MTV TV show.
Yes.
Yes.
Some would call it MTV's Cribs.
Would any of those people be here?
I would.
Oh, okay. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody watched that.
I couldn't tell you who hosted it anymore.
Well, I stopped watching
because like I remember
made me sad.
what was the one? Oh, Pimp My Ride. That was Exhibit. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. You got to look up all the horror stories of Pimp My Ride. It was pretty bad.
I mean, what was the expectation? They were completely redoing a car without actual.
No, that's what you thought you were getting, and then they would film your reaction before you saw your car. They'd make you do it 5 or 6 times. They would do the stuff just for the TV show, and they'd pull all their junk out of it. So then you'd have this car that was modded for those TVs and the speaker systems and stuff, but yet they would take them out.
That's weird. So Viacom did not have the money to pay $10,000 a car to
I don't
One's
think
Ride.
But if you watch all those MTV shows, the reason they were so successful is because they were dirt cheap. Like MTV never had any money until they started making movies. Even then, they don't think they had a ton of money for movies. But watch all those shows. They're even filmed on really bad cameras.
Yeah, they didn't have any money, but money for nothing. Chicks for free.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good.
Thanks.
Dire Straits.
Thanks, Dan.
Back to the Future.
No, that wasn't in that.
Whoops.
You, who hosted MTV's Cribs? Show was originally narrated by Ananda Lewis. She was one of the BJs, I think, wasn't she?
The BJs.
The VJs.
You got me there for a second. I was like, I'm sure that's how she got her job, but I mean, no, I think I remember her. She had the long curly hair.
I think so. Yeah. And then Suchin Pak, originally of MTV News, and then, like she's been saying, Kimora Lee Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of Gene Simmons' ex-wives, yes, or daughter. Or
No, it's Russell Simmons' wife.
Russell Simmons. Oh yeah, that's right.
Because they had a show too, I think, on MTV.
They did visits with celebrities such as Hanson, Twiggy Ramirez, and others.
Really?
2 new episodes in late 2010, 2011, featuring the homes of Penn Jillette. Here's the thing.
Penn Jillette, you shave with those, right?
No. I can't think of any person in 2011 at the MTV watching age that would have known who the shit Penn Jillette was.
Really? I thought everybody knew Penn and Teller.
No.
Really?
I guess, well, at 2011, they might have been still doing their residency in Vegas. Because didn't they have sort of a half residency at one of the hotels for a while?
Yeah, I think they still do. But I thought
they still do.
I thought so. I thought
They're both still alive. I assumed Teller was dead.
No.
How would you know? He wouldn't say anything.
But I thought they had a. I don't want to say a TV show, but they used to do specials back then.
You mean that some hotel in Vegas is pushing Chris Angel Mind Freak on people, and Penn and Teller are still in town?
Yeah, but they're like at some weird place. Well, people would know who they are because they were on Cribs.
They weren't. Well, I'm sure Teller showed up at some point, but it was just Gillette, just Penn's crib that was on Cribs.
Mm-hmm. Teller had to make him an appearance.
Yeah, but I mean, it would have been a boring episode if it was his house because he just couldn't say anything the whole time.
He's also done enough, I think, movies and TV by himself.
Do you think he's Miles Teller's dad?
No,
I don't.
He's much more handsome than Miles Teller.
Whoa.
Is that a hot take?
I thought it was a hot
Did I
take.
just shit the bed on that one?
She doesn't care.
I'm not a Miles Teller fan.
That's weird.
I can't even say his name. That's why I hate him.
Who else don't you like?
That would take way too long. That should be our podcast. Who we don't like.
How do you
We could
feel
have
about,
like 1,000 million
how do you
episodes.
feel about the guy that played Elvis?
Oh, Austin Butler, or
Yeah.
whatever his name is. I cannot stand that guy.
Wow.
And here's why. I never cared about the guy before. I thought he did great as Elvis. I mean, they didn't age him enough, I don't think. And I don't think they made him gain enough weight.
I mean, when has Baz ever? You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't going to age him.
But the thing is
Can't put on a spectacle if
He did
everybody
the
stops
thing-
looking pretty.
he did the thing as an actor that I absolutely hate. And he talked like Elvis during all his things. I think he's still doing it. He still uses the Elvis thing now in his voice. And if you see anything before he started filming Elvis, he talks like this. And then now he's, oh yeah, you know, baby. In all his interviews and stuff, he does that low talk. And he has it with the twang on it as the Elvis thing. And when he was promoting Elvis, he was doing it like crazy on the Tonight Show. And,
what voice was he using when he got famous?
what do you mean?
I mean, just how are you going to blame the kid for being like, oh, this is working. Let's just do this.
Well, you can't just stay in
You
character.
changed your voice for this podcast.
You can't just stay in character.
Hmm?
Well, it's not like I'm like,
He's not staying in character.
that's exactly what he was doing. That's why I was saying it was annoying the piss out of me.
No, you're saying that he's staying in character. That doesn't mean he's staying in character.
Mm-hmm. I'll find you clips and
until he dies. Until he dies on the toilet eating a peanut butter and what was it, pickle sandwich.
He's promoting
Banana.
Dune right now, and he's still talking like he's in Elvis.
What's strange to me is he's in Dune.
Yeah,
that marks.
He's getting a lot of.
Is it a
pretty good.
Is it a throwback?
What do you mean?
Because literally, like, you can be upset with him all you want. I don't care. Like, I think he's been pigeonholed into a very specific type of typecasting, and he does perfectly fine at that. So I'm interested to see if he does well at Dune, because I don't think that's his wheelhouse. Like,
he's getting all kinds of stuff for Dune because he's playing a character where he doesn't look like him, and he's really savage in the movie. So he's getting a lot of acclaim, which is cool.
Because like in Masters of the Air, it's like if Elvis was a World War II pilot, which is fine. Like,
really,
yeah, it doesn't necessarily not track the timeline. It's fairly similar. Also, I'm pretty sure that Daniel Day-Lewis, I bet you he gets stuck for years on end on voice.
I don't even know when the last time I seen him in anything.
The last thing I remember of anything was
he was huge. He was in a ton. Well, he did Lincoln, didn't he?
Oh yeah,
That's probably the last thing I remember.
I was gonna say There Will Be Blood, but yeah, Lincoln was more recent, and he did great.
Yeah, he was a hell of an actor. He was, but it was kind of the same note, like being super intense.
I mean, that's his note.
Yeah,
and he lives that character the entire.
It's like Christian Bale. He kind of has that same.
Like in Gangs of New York, he was phenomenal.
Daniel Day-Lewis was in. I don't think I've ever seen Gangs of New York.
Bill the Butcher.
I've seen only seen bits of it, but we got way off a crib.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about.
You know, before we get any further, I guess I should actually throw out what the official definition for crib.
You should.
Slang definition: it's someone's crib, their home, a place where they are living at the present.
Which, going back to kind of what you were saying earlier, is weird to me because a crib is a baby prison. and I feel like every child is excited to get out of their crib.
I just like the term baby prison. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, well, sure. Just like your Uncle Joey.
Oh, we get this. It's used as a word.
Back to the Future.
Uncle Joe. Oh, yeah. Back to the Future. Better get used to these bars. It says it's used as a verb as well. Like cribbed or cribbing. To pilfer or steal, especially to plagiarize. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that either. And I've never heard it used that way. I'm pretty sure it's a lie.
Oh, geez. It gets a little dark now. A sex worker sitting at the window of a crib. Term for building rented out exclusivity for prostitution. That's
I don't understand.
What, in the red light district?
Oh.
When the girls are like on the windows, I guess. They call that a crib.
I mean, that makes more sense than a really nice home being called a crib because it is sort of like a prison.
What came first?
Chicken.
Well, definitely not the prostitute. But yeah, I use crib, and not religiously or anything, but I'm sure I've said it. But it's probably been talking about the Cribs TV show.
Nah, I
remember I had to buy a crib when I had my kids.
Yeah. I was about to say, I'm sure I've used it like, let's go back to the crib. But now that I say it, that doesn't sound like something I've ever said.
You and your boys?
No. Somebody else might have said it around me. Like, it's
the
word
crib and play some Tomb Raider.
The word when MTV Cribs was popular did get fairly popular.
Yeah, that was probably because of the hip hop culture. Kind of really made it really a big term, I think.
Sure, I guess. I just don't get it. Like, if a crib is your prison as you're growing up, then why do you use that word to brag about the place that you're living now?
What? Okay.
I thought what I said made perfect sense.
Do you want me to bring some culture into this? Some Australian culture?
What do the Australians feel a crib is? I can't even say it.
In their urban slang, crib is a noun for light meat or cut lunch. like eaten at work, typically in a crib room. 10 already? I'll just have a slash and see you in the crib. Well, I didn't say that with the accent. Should I do it with the accent?
Please don't.
I haven't done that. I haven't got to do my accents very much this season.
Yeah, and look at our listenership go straight through the roof.
That better be.
We're up to 4.
That better be right. If not, I'm coming back with a vengeance. Good day, mate. I'm coming back with a vengeance.
We just, you know what it is? It's anytime that you try to say,
I have to ramp
any
into
of the
it.
words. But especially when you close out a sentence, like it just all falls apart. It's like watching.
It's like a shotgun. I'm just trying to
Like watching the last lap of the Daytona 500, but like 100 yards before the finish line, the front wheels fall off the car, and you just have to see it glide through on sparks. And then he finishes in 4th.
To crib, it means to cheat, stealing, copying. Why does that not make sense to me?
Is there anything related to a card game in there?
What were those things called? Were they called crib notes in college?
I don't know.
Like you would actually get like
No,
pamphlet,
Cliff Notes.
Cliff. Oh my god, I'll be erasing that.
No, leave that in.
Fuck no. Crib Notes, bad name right there. Crib Notes.
Guess who didn't go to college?
This guy right here. God damn it, dude. Crib Notes. I saved it with the band name thing though, right?
My favorite part though about that was like in college, everybody would call it Cliff's Notes.
No, really?
Yeah, as if like some guy named Cliff, like Cliff Clavin, was just sitting writing out notes for people on everything.
Those would be the best.
Honestly,
that'd be funny.
That might have been who those books were written by, because I don't know that they did the best job of synopsizing everything they said they were doing.
So what's a crib note then?
Crib note is a bill large enough to buy you a home.
Okay. You actually trying to make that work. I was thinking
It's the closest I got. Crib note is the type of song that plays out of what are the things that circle above a baby?
The halo? Dandruff. Halo dandruff? Same thing? What's circle above babies? Ravens?
No.
Vultures?
The baby's still alive.
Okay.
So not either of those two things.
Okay, I'm right there with you now. Baby's still alive, and they circle around
No,
babies.
it's a little thing that plays music and has little like, toys and shit on it.
Yeah, the mobile.
Guess who hasn't had children like at their baby age before?
This guy. Guess who is a children?
That guy. Yeah, so it's like a mobile.
Wait, hang on. Gotta check my crib notes.
Ooh, I got another one. The sheet of paper you get when you go to an open house.
The sheet of paper I get when I go to open house?
Yeah.
That's a menu.
What do you think an open house is?
They feed you right there, right? You get snacks. You don't go to very good open houses then.
So when you go to an open house, they give you an information sheet that tells you all about the home.
The menu?
That tells you all about the home.
Yeah. That's a crib sheet?
That'd be crib notes. It'd be notes about the crib.
Ah, I like it. I like that.
Kyle Herman, you can use that one in the future.
We'll take it. Kyle Herman. Shout out to Kyle. Kyle's the man, by the way.
Also, Kyle, find somewhere safe.
He ain't a celebrity. He could be.
He could be. He's handsome enough.
Yeah. Tall, handsome, smart, rich. Has a beautiful little baby now. Congrats on that, man. Hopefully he'll sell me my next house. My next crib.
Have you ever been to a famous person's crib?
Not legally. But I can't talk about that.
Why not?
Because I can't. The law has told me I can't do that.
That you can't talk about it.
The judge was pretty.
The judge was pretty? That's a weird thing to say about a judge.
Yeah.
Was it Judy?
Waffner.
Oh.
He's dead now.
So you can't do anything. You're like, he said no, not me.
No, if I've been in anybody's house that's famous other than like a historical house, no.
Historical counts. Have you been to a famous historical house?
Yeah, I'm sure I have, but I don't. Would Kingman High School count?
I don't think so.
It's historical and has ghosts.
It has Ghost 2?
No, Ghost 1. The Ghost 2 is not a very good movie.
Wait, what? No, I know Lee Williams has ghosts. Is Lee Williams what used to be Kingman High School?
Yeah.
Okay.
It used to be called Kingman High School when I went there. Yeah.
And then you did such a shitty job of being a student there that they had to change the name
Pretty much.
just to get re-upped by the government on their
Pretty much.
state stipend.
I'm just trying to think of somewhere I've been. I haven't been anywhere. What do you got? You meet with celebrities all the time, so.
Well, I don't meet with celebrities all the time, and I'm trying to think if
You
I've ever.
stalk celebrities all the time.
I do that. I don't remember if I've ever been to a famous person. Well, I mean, my old boss played Major League Baseball. I've been to his house. Well, his old house, not his current house.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really count that.
But you haven't been like to Tom Cruise's house or anything.
Not that he knows of. I've been to Taliesin West here in Scottsdale.
I don't know what
That's kind of a famous crib. That was one of Frank Lloyd Wright's designs.
Oh, shit. So would like the Gettys and all that count then? Because I've been to the Gettys Museum and all that stuff in Cali.
Well, that's a Getty Museum. That's not really a house, is it?
Wasn't part of it that? Didn't he have his own? I thought he had his own like chateau and all that shit. That was part of that. That's why it started that.
Maybe. I've been to Hearst Castle. That's a famous crib.
I've been to Count Chocula's castle
No, you haven't.
in my dreams.
Do you even know what Hearst Castle is?
Yeah, it's the guy who owns Hertz. The
Hearst, not Hertz.
Oh.
So William Randolph Hearst owned a lot of the newspaper trade back in the early 1900s, I believe.
Mhm.
His daughter, Patty Hearst,
oh
was...
So you've been to that house? That house is haunted.
Is it?
I thought they said it was, or maybe it was a different house, but she was involved.
Well, it was probably the house that, what's his name, took all his followers to.
Yeah, that was not a good crib.
That was not Hearst Castle, though.
That was not a good crib. Marilyn Manson.
Different Manson. Charles Manson. I like to take his power away from him by calling him Charles instead of
Charlie?
Charlie.
Chuck Mayonnaise.
Chuck Mancini. Chuck Mangione.
There you go. Well, we haven't done a Mangione call out ever.
No. Well, I hadn't thought of it, and I don't even know that I would know about Chuck Mangione.
Can you do the song?
I don't even know that I would know about Chuck Mangione if it wasn't for King of the Hill.
Really?
Mhm.
I not that I was a fan or anything, but like that song that's made him famous got played on the radio all the time growing up. So used to hear that a lot.
In your crib.
Baby Jail.
Baby Jail. Da-da-da-da-da-da, Baby Jail.
Baby Jail would be a good band name too.
Sure.
What would be the album? Diaper Yard.
Pureed Lunch.
Oh, you know what? Before we go any further, I should probably thank. We had a listener offer up this word crib, and I hadn't even thought about using it as a slang term, but I guess it kind of technically was,
Because clearly the words we're choosing are not good enough. And so Hazel felt like she would tell us what to do.
She said she was going to listen to a couple of the episodes and that you guys should really do crib. And I was just like, I forgot about crib. That's not bad. So thank you, Hazel. Hopefully you'll listen to this one, and hopefully you'll listen to some of the other ones. But see how that works? You tell us what to do, and we do it.
It doesn't always work like that. But we are happy to give you a good old-fashioned cribbing on here.
Cribbing? I got to look at my crib notes on that one.
Oh, no, it's ribbing. Whatever.
Yeah, see? You don't know English like you think you know English.
Cribbage?
I got crib notes on it. Crib notes is going to be my favorite thing now. I'm going to just lean hard into that stupidity.
Like, yeah, because it's like, so there's Cliff Notes, which is what you were trying to say. There used to be a show on TV in the 80s, I think, that was on every week about baseball called This Week in Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
They had a segment on the show called Twib Notes. But yeah, no. Crib Notes you just made up makes no sense.
Makes a little bit of sense.
Actually, you should be a realtor, and then you should start calling those things crib notes and be like, as people come in, be like, here are your crib notes.
See, again, you keep proving my point that I'm the ideas man on this podcast. You see, I just lob one up and then you make it stick. crib notes. Should have just been gibberish, but you turned it into a real live thing that actually would be a pretty good thing.
And as such, that makes me the idea man.
No, I had the idea for it.
You didn't have
just
the idea
fixed
for
it.
it.
You're the idea fixer.
But no. See, an idea means that you have fully sussed out what.
There's nothing sus about my ideas, man.
They're all sus. What the idea is. Like just saying a word is not an idea. It's saying a word.
Well, I said 2 words.
Saying a phrase is not an idea. It's just saying a phrase.
When I put it out there as an idea, it's a phrase idea. Right? That's what idea men do. You very literally write books. Not about ideas, though.
And I have to deal with this coming at me? What is this?
I have tons of ideas. You have tons of ideas, too. I give you credit when you throw out an idea.
No. First of all, no, you don't. Second of all,
try to.
It just hasn't happened yet.
Is that what I sound like?
Yeah, it is what you sound like.
Oh, I kind of like this. We should do the podcast more like this.
Yeah.
We're on the clock. Beat the clock. What was that game, Concentration? We had to put the little pegs in. And you had before the timer
Battleship.
And it would explode.
Game of Life. No.
Yeah, it's called Life.
Yeah.
You put all the pegs in the right spot before you explode.
I think that was called Concentration. I don't remember the peg aspect of it, but I do remember the timer.
I remember it was red, and then it had the little yellow pegs of the little things, and they had different shapes like star, circle.
What were your favorite board games growing up?
I like Stratego.
That you would play in your crib, because I don't want to talk about the 3 favorite cribs.
All right. Stratego.
Okay.
Love that one. Do you remember that one?
Nope.
It's when you had
I remember it existing. I never played it.
Stratego is when you had 2 armies and they had to capture the guy's flag. And you had all these little players, like a 30 or 40 on each end. One was red, one was blue. And you'd hide the flag and you had bombs. But you had guys who could take bombs. So it was kind of like cards. Like the queen was higher than the 10 and all that stuff. So whoever's number was higher, you could take it. You just got to capture their flag before you.
So it was chess meets capture the flag.
A little bit.
Meets Casino War. And somebody won. It was like Risk for Dummies.
Yeah. Well, it was Risk, but fun.
Risk was
not fun.
All right. Got any others?
I actually did like Life. And then Hungry Hippos, people. Woo!
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was dumb. That was mindless.
I'm going to stretch the idea of board game. Because you probably don't consider this a board game. It was more of an electronic game.
I'll take it.
I mean, it wasn't more of it was an electronic game, but Simon is.
Simon was sweet, dude.
Probably one of my favorite games ever.
We'll probably talk about this a little more on another episode, but it was just your birthday, and I was looking at stuff. We bought you that card game.
Mm-hmm.
I had Simon in my hand for a half hour, just he'll love it. But then I was like, but what if he doesn't? Because I was just he had to have loved Simon.
I love Simon.
God, I should have done Simon. We'd have been doing, well, I also thought we'd be playing Simon in here and we'd never get anything done. So,
I mean, we don't normally get much done.
Yeah, but we'd really not get anything done.
Well, what else? I mean, when I was little, I really liked Chutes and Ladders.
That's all right.
But I got old bored and then it wasn't as fun anymore. There used to be a game called...
Do you like Clue?
Well, I was okay with Clue.
I just grew up with Clue, so...
I want to say it was called Slam Dunk. And so you would take the board or take the box and flip it over and you put a basketball court thing that had cutouts and there were basketball hoops on either side. And you and the person you were playing against, there'd be a ping pong ball and it would land in these little cutouts that had little springs. And your job was to hit the spring to make as many shots as possible to get points.
God, that sounds familiar.
Oh, my favorite board game of all time, made by the same company that brought you Cooties.
Ants in Your Pants?
I don't know. They might have also brought you Ants in Your Pants, but Cooties was a different game.
I remember Cooties, but I'm just saying. Oh, is Cooties the game you're picking?
No.
Okay.
Stadium Checkers. Stadium Checkers is the greatest game of all time in the history of the world. Part 1.
I'll take that and I'll raise you crossbows and catapults.
Never played.
Never had that one? See, my game thing went from like the basic ones like Clue and all that stuff that you grow up with, like Life and all that, but actual boards and stuff, or like Sorry. But then they grew into the ones that became stuff. Like remember, there was Mousetrap or whatever it was. Like, well, crossbows and catapults was literally you built like castles and stuff, and you actually had crossbows that they would shoot the little pegs across the floor, or you had the catapults. So, and growing up not having any money, one of the best things I ever did was go in the backyard and I'd set up army men on one end, army men on the other, and you'd grab a bunch of dirt clogs and you would just take turns bombing each other, whoever
the greatest part about like the 70s and 80s is how open the gaming industry was about, we're going to give your kids plenty of shit to choke on. Enjoy.
Or head trauma.
Stadium checkers was sort of like Chinese checkers, but it was set up like the bowl of a stadium.
Okay.
And there were holes, and there were full holes, and then there were half holes. And so your job was to get all of your marbles in to those holes or to the bottom before the person you were playing, because the bottom also was holes.
Mm-hmm.
And my family hated me because I was so good at that game.
That was called.
I didn't lose for multiple years.
I think I remember that, but that was called Stadium Checkers.
Mm-hmm.
I think we called it something else. I'll have to look at that up.
There's another good one with marbles, Kerplunk. Do you like that one?
I remember that one. I don't remember playing it too much.
Yeah, it probably came out as you were just old enough to not care about that stuff anymore.
I've always liked a good board game. It's kind of old. It just reminds me of like,
when it goes Kerplunk, you're sunk.
It's like, it reminds me of the first video games. Like they were so basic, and so like some of those board games are on that same level. So, Crib, fun.
It was fun for the very short period of time that we talked about it, and then we talked about all the other things.
I'll just splice a whole bunch of cribs in here and stuff like that.
Crib.
Well, you come over to my crib all the time to do this podcast, and I'm very thankful for that. Because an ideas man
you should be, because it's not a short drive.
I need an ideas partner, and I have that in you.
Ideas partner,
yeah.
Idea creator. I take your drivel and I turn it into an idea.
Drivel?
Yes.
Okay. Is that a real word?
Double dribble.
Double dribble.
Used to love that game too. Double dribble.
That's what he does whenever we feed him here. Just double dribble. Get it?
No, can you
dribble
explain?
your food, and you have to have a crib bib. Oh, I just thought of something new.
That was an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you would call it a crib bib, but
it's a bib you get at your house.
Here's the thing.
It's shaped like a house.
It's time. We got to leave your crib. Got to let Tyler hopefully not kill us out on the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this could be our last episode.
God willing. The way I look at it is, if basically, like, if we die, right, it's the famous artist thing. Like, our episodes will go through the roof. Our families will be taken care of for life.
You think so?
Sure.
So should we entice her to... Can we at least finish the second season first?
Fine.
Because third seasons are usually when people lose all, they don't have anything to do on TV. So third season is perfect time to kill us.
Third season's definitely going to be our jump the shark season.
Yeah. All right. It's a fun episode. I made this work with my ideas. Everybody take good crib notes. We'll see you on the flip side.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dan.
And this is Hangout.
With your slang. That was Australian, right?
Closer than what you normally sound like when you try to do an Australian accent.
Thank you, Hazel, for the word.
I wonder how many Australian listeners we've gotten that we've lost just based on your shitty. Actually, you know what? We probably gained them, because they're probably like, you got to listen to this bloke.
You got to listen to this idiot. No, I'm telling you, we're huge in New Zealand because they hate Australia, right?
And
they're like, look, they probably take shots every time we make fun of Australia, right?
Probably.
Right on. Perfect way in.
Silly Kiwis.
Bye, Kiwis.
I know. We haven't been able to spend enough time over here lately.
That's because somebody's got this fancy new job, rubbing elbows with fancy people.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
He's not going to need me much longer.
Didn't need you before.
He's not going to need me, not need me, and then need me, and then not need me much more. Rewind that back. That made sense.
If you played it backwards, it would make more sense than if you tried to listen to it forwards again.
Okay, I'll do that.